Cooks. Uh, Today, it's not Mark Allen cooks your dinner. It's more like Mark Allen is going to help you make the very best snack for you to watch while you're watching football. Well, you eat it, not what. Anyway, you know what I mean. This is a spicy and sweet thing, and it is going to be delicious. This is probably one of the easiest things we've ever made here on Mark Allen Cooks. Our guest chef today is Sean Reynolds. We'll bring him in just a minute, tell you all a little bit about Sean as we take to the air January 11th, 2023. And this is Mark Allen Cooks. We're going to have fun today. I'm going to bring Sean in, and then I'm going to kind of introduce him as I bring him in. Sean and I spend probably, I don't know, 3-4 times a month together because we co-host a show called Bouillon Max, the podcast for bouillonmax.com. We do a gold and silver precious metal show together, and we've been doing it for almost a year, about 10 months, I think, 9 months. And we've become good friends. At least I think of him as a friend because I don't have many. Right?
No, we're good friends. That's accurate. No problem there.
And the first thing we're going to do, I'm going to do two things. First thing, if you're watching, we'd love to hear from you. We're going to be making something today. It's a Chex Mix, okay? You can see all the mixes back here. And we're going to make a Chex Mix. Chex. It's there someplace. Where is it? Oh, there it is. And this is a special recipe that Sean has been making for years. In the meantime, what we're going to do is we're both going to pop a beer. I've got a German beer that's made in Korea.
How do you reckon that one out?
We don't know how I got the beer. We're not sure.
Making all kinds of stuff in Korea these days. Why not German beer as well, right?
My car is from Korea, and we love Korean food. This is OB Premium. It's a Pilsner in a German style, and it's hoppy. I don't know if my bottle is bigger than your bottle. I've got it. I mean,
I'm
is
pretty sure it
huge.
is. I've got a standard 12 ounce here, and mine is from good old Wisconsin because I am as well. And my friends from Wisconsin, if they are tuning in, you know doggone well what that is. That is New Glarus Brewing Company, and this is a Moon Man. They are famous spotted cow. That's kind of the one where if you're out in a supper club, the one extra pull that is not Bud Light, that is not one of the other big name beers, it's spotted cow. It's only available in Wisconsin. So needless to say, when I go back home, my people from here who've had this before say, please bring me some spotted cow or some Moon Man.
Spotted cow.
So,
Now, I just have to tell you that I opened my beer with a Coca-Cola bottle opener that Carol's grandfather gave me 40 years ago, and it still works.
Well, there you go. They don't build them like that anymore. See,
No,
if that were more recent. Yeah, this is one that we picked up when we were in Venice, Italy, and it is not nearly as old as yours. It has kind of a fun colored handle here, but it gets the job done. So
I'm
that was my
pour a
weapon
little
of
bit
choice.
for Carol. Carol's
There we
going to
go.
hand me her glass. Got it.
I've got Merlin off to the side looking at me like, what are you going to do with that?
Oh, yeah?
He's our
Merlin
boy.
is your kitty?
Yes, he's our male, and he's
right.
a pretty version of Grumpy Cat, I would say.
All right. Well, cheers to Carol. Cheers, Sean.
Yes, cheers to you as well, and a shout out to my new friend through Bouillon Max, Ramon Sanchez. I said I'd give you a shout out when I did my toast tonight, and that job is done. Let's get cooking.
Hey, and if you're interested, I did. We'll give the website out for Bouillon Max. It's pretty simple, bouillonmax.com. And if you're interested in purchasing precious metals, and you can also go to YouTube and watch Sean and I as we interview
Us.
people about precious metals, investing and collecting and things like that. We did some really great things for Christmas. Some of the Disney stuff from down under just blew me away. Well, we're going to get going. Excuse me.
No excuse needed, Mark. You're fine. You're fine.
I got to tell you, this is over a pint. Over a pint. And a pint and 5 ounces. All right.
12.
I'm going to
12
pass
for
this
me.
to Carol.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to start here. We're going to make this. It's a Chex Mix. How long have you been making this?
I would say probably the first time I made it was after watching Charlie Brown's Christmas, and we saw the ads all through it, and the recipes on the back of the box. And the two things that I've taken away from it that I've always had as part of it is you need seasoned salt,
Right.
and you need Worcestershire.
Got it.
So as long as you have those two things in there, I kind of consider it to be based on the classic. You can still twist it however you want to from there. If you're going sweet, you're probably not using these and you're really doing something original in that regard. So my changes through the years came through some of my other ingredients. Now, on the original recipe, they say use margarine, and I never use margarine. I haven't since I left home. It's probably what we had when I was a kid. So
we had.
I'm not going to the store and buying the stuff. So we'll use what's here. And so from there, it's a question of what little tweaks did I do. But some of that's actually related to the ingredients that I use, because some of the dry ingredients or cereal or crackers also have flavoring. So you may have a garlic flavor. You may have a cheese flavor. You may have any number of different things that, one year I got the flavor blasted goldfish. Okay, well,
I
that
got pizza
cheese
blasted.
there you go.
Goldfish.
Okay, so that coating is going to come off when you put your butter mix over the top and you shake the mix. That flavor is going to come off those crackers and it's going to get mixed in. And excuse me, I think that's why my family really likes eating the cereal, because of all the other flavors that came from all the other stuff.
Right.
It's like working with a white fish or working with chicken or something like that absorbs all the other flavors.
All that flavor.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to start melting the butter, but before we do, we're going to melt some butter and add the seasonings. And Carol, okay, good. Thank you, honey. I'm going to turn the flame on. I haven't bought Chex, Sean, and you and I talked about this. We try to do healthy things, even though once in a while we do butter and we try to do organic stuff.
Mm-hmm.
General Mills, when they answered their phone, said, we've been feeding America for 150 plus years. And all of our stuff is healthy and good stuff. And I know you're from the Midwest. Carol's from the Midwest too. But
Great.
I do not like genetically engineered or modified foods. I just don't. There's not enough research on it. And there's some things that are bad. Tom Martin, is there a good wine pairing for this dish?
My favorite local real estate agent says red wine.
Okay.
Anything red goes with this. Great question.
Actually, Tom, instead of wine, I'd go with vodka. That would work too. Anyway.
See, normally when I'm making this, I have a vodka lemonade and I've got Christmas carols going on in the background because it's normally a seasonal thing for me. But yes, absolutely vodka, by all means.
Right.
I don't normally have a beer, but we wanted a beer today, so I got my favorite. Moon.
Got it. Well, and beer goes, I think beer goes with this. All right, we're melting down the butter. and it's probably a little hot. We're going to have the recipe up. Now, because this is just being made for Carol and me, I've cut the recipe way down, okay? We're not going to make 2.5 gallons of product.
Now, when he says 2.5 gallons of product, to me, that translates to half a roaster pan. And that's the way that my recipe has gone. So quickly, my recipe is 1, 2, 3, 4. That's in tablespoons for 2 sticks of butter. So this year, I actually have a half and a half for my first tablespoon. This is my fave. This is Penzey's Black and Red. Penzey's is a spice store in Wisconsin. You can buy their stuff online. This is fantastic. Great
you
on
guys in Wisconsin can send me a bottle. It's okay.
Yo, I'll hook you up, yo. Now,
Yeah.
this is great on vegetables, all kinds of other stuff.
And
but
that's
this is
50%. You told me that it's 50% pepper and 50% cayenne. So I'm gonna fake it by.
There you go, the home version of the Penzey.
Exactly.
Yep. So then,
and then I'm going to add some cayenne, and I'm going to be careful with that because cayenne is hot.
Yes, you can get hot real quickly, and in that situation, if you can tell your mix is too hot, you're either going to need to add more butter, or you might need to put a little bit of sugar in there to try to take some of the heat out. So then the next thing I did is not speak English. No, the next thing is a half a tablespoon of Chipotle.
All right,
so
I've got that right here.
Normally, where my recipe is normally 1, 2, 3, 4, I got 2 halves that make up my 1, and then we'll go through my 2, 3, 4. But this is Chipotle.
Look at that.
I think what's in there, what fell through, is probably going to be fine.
Yeah.
And so this is, I wanted the smoke, but I didn't want the heat as much because I really like flavors and I don't like hot for the sake of hot. There are those who do, but I'm not one of those guys.
I'm exactly the same. I'm the same way, Sean. And in fact, you talked about smoke. The Chipotle powder I have is smoked Chipotle.
Excellent.
Right?
There we go.
All right.
Yeah.
So we've got that. What about the Worcestershire?
That's what I call one. Okay. Number 2 for me is the red hot sauce. So again, in my ingredient, we're going to go 1 tablespoon, 2 tablespoons, 3 tablespoons, 4 tablespoons. And Mark is going to make his smaller because he's doing just a little bit. So normally
we will have Sean's recipe. I'm sorry, Sean. We'll have Sean's recipe up at YouTube tomorrow, okay? Maybe later tonight. Sean's, he sent me the recipe, and I will have that posted. Okay, here we go. How much are we going to put?
Yeah, for my
Whoa, I haven't opened that bottle for a while. Okay.
Yeah, so make sure you shake it up really well. And because you don't want the paste from the end, because that's gonna be too hot. So you want to make sure it's nice and blended there. This, for my recipe, is my 2 tablespoons. So my first hot ingredient is number 1. This is number 2. I used to do Louisiana hot sauce and some of the other things like Tabasco. That's too hot. That's too hot. I like this mellowed out just a little bit. But then classic.
Hold on 1 second. I have to tell you what we almost use instead of the Frank's. That's Frank's hot sauce, original.
Yeah, red hot.
Frank's Red Hot. I almost use Slap Your Mama.
Okay, yeah, that would probably be a little too hot.
Yeah.
But once again, for those who love the heat, go ahead and do your version. You do you, boo. That's fine. And then, so the next one for me would be 3 tablespoons of Worcestershire. I happen to like Liam Perrins. I get it from the price clubs, and so I usually get 2 bottles together for about $6. So it's pretty reasonable that way.
I've been buying it at Costco, right? Mm-hmm. And they stopped carrying it. It was 2 bottles for about $6, $7. And bring it back, folks. I need it. I almost drink this stuff.
Yeah, it's delicious.
And they do have a low sodium version now, and they have a vegan version, because one of the active ingredients, if you will, are anchovies.
Anchovies. Little flesh.
Yep. All right. So
There we go.
I make a butter and Worcestershire sauce for Brussels sprouts.
There you go. You could try this mix on that.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I think I only have one more ingredient.
That is correct. So seasoned salt is the next one. I happen to stick with the original recipe and seek out Lawry's because I know what it tastes like. If I were to get any other seasoned salt off the shelf, I don't think I would know what its flavor profile is. I could guess, but I don't think it would be exactly like Lawry's. And since I've always been working with this, I just stick with it.
All right. Well, I'm going to let that sit there for a while. I've turned the heat off. I've added my seasoned salt. I actually at one point worked for Lawry's. Now there are two divisions. Yeah, I worked for the restaurant division and represented Lawry's restaurants in Chicago and Los Angeles. I can't remember if there's anything other. Oh, and they had another restaurant in Glendale that we worked on, and then but the seasoned salt and all their spices was a different division.
Sure, that makes sense.
Yeah. All right, we're going to start mixing up some good stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can I just
the
you tell
deboxing
me?
and measuring and pouring portion of our program?
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
All
for
right.
my version, when I do the big stuff with the half a roaster pan, what I'm doing is I'm opening a box and I'm putting one half the contents in one side and the other half the contents in the other side. So Mark is working on a different scale than I do, but I found it's easier to do it this way because it's open box half and half. Now watch what Mark does here.
Now I remember eating Chex as a kid. Okay.
Yeah.
And again, I'm going to. Sean and I talked this morning. I should have tried to find an organic, non-GMO Chex type of cereal. And it's not going to kill you to eat it once. But it's just something that Carol and I try not to bring into the house. I believe that, and on one hand, General Foods does not have to do this, but they have labeled this genetically engineered. So I give you kudos for that. Carol, I'm going to let you help decide how much to put in. That's about a half a box. I've got Goldfish next.
Yes, I usually have some type of cheese cracker, at least two. Goldfish are easy, and my brother and I kind of have an inside joke about those. Usually goes with an Eddie Murphy impersonation that I will forego.
He won a Golden Globe last night.
Yeah. No, that's great. So Goldfish crackers, you bet. They're easy. You can get a whole bunch of them, or like Mark has, he's got the typical Pepperidge Farm packet, and he can put as many or as few of those in there as you like because they're easy, they're small, they mix well with the other things. It's just great.
And I got flavor blasted extra cheesy pizza.
There you go. So that's a little extra flavor that when the butter mix is poured over that it's going to share that with the corn Chex, which is great.
And then I got Cheez-Its snack mix. And this was the only one of our crackers that at least doesn't say that they're genetically engineered. So I'm going to pour this in now.
There you go. So I'm assuming that's probably got some pretzels in it and a couple of other things that also are part of my mix when I do it. In the holiday season, I like using the holiday themed pretzels when I'm making bigger batches to share. Otherwise, each individual pretzel is too doggone big to put in like a quart bag to ship it off to somebody. It's going to end up broken in transit. Yeah, that's a perfect size right there.
That's a pretzel. Okay, I gotta try. Oh, this looks like a Cheetos.
Yep. Cheese puff. Sure.
All right. Now,
Yeah, it looks like
cook
they have
me.
little Ritz crackers in there or something. That works too.
I've got some, but I'm gonna put in Gardetto's original snack mix, and where I like these was in airport lounges. When I fly,
Oh
I
yeah.
fly Delta, and a lot of their lounges, they would have these, right? He's drinking his beer. Can I have my beer back? And I really like the little garlic things in there. Huh.
Yes.
Some little mouse has been drinking my beer.
How about that? You may not want to give it back if you expect to, fully enjoy it. But yeah, that's why I use the Gardettos. They've been hard to find since COVID, but I specifically get them for the rye chips. Now they've got a very strong garlic flavor, which is great. So if I add something like pita chips or some other type of cracker, I would probably go with sea salt or something not flavored, so I don't end up with too much garlic in there, because that's a lot going on considering the spices and the seasoned salt and the Worcestershire and you can get too much going on.
Denise Anderson said Chex Mix is one of her favorite all-time snacks, and that's great. Except we're going to get you off of the Chex Mix because General Foods is blowing it. I actually called them today, and they had the audacity to say that this was healthy. I've interviewed so many people who said, stay away from GMOs. We just need more research. We got to know why. And there's been some studies to indicate that GMOs are killing bees. And that's not good. Okay.
You don't want that.
You don't want that.
There we
Now,
go.
Cheerios. By the way, it says right here on the, can help lower cholesterol. These are 28%, I think, 23% added sugar. So you have lower cholesterol. You have lower cholesterol, but you might get diabetes. T.A. McKinney. That's, what is it?
McKinney.
Oh, okay. Hello, T.
Thank you.
Where are you from? Let us know where you're from, T.A. And you're loving what we're doing. We appreciate that. Oh, T.A. Tiffany, she's in Florida. Okay. I'm adding. So there's going to be sweet and hot in this mix.
Yep. And Frosted Cheerios are one of the ingredients that I switched to after years of adding a little bit of sugar or Splenda or something to it to cut some of the heat and put more flavor in. But now that I've found those, I would much rather do it with those other ingredients than alter the mix.
Right.
So when I put my pretzels in, I make sure I don't put, too much salt from the bag in there to make it too salty. Same with the when I'm measuring out my Lawry seasoned salt, I don't do heaping teaspoons. I keep it flat because otherwise it's going to be too salty, or do 3 heaping instead of 4 level. So there is some tweaking you'll do. So
I used to take Lawry seasoned salt and cut up celery and put cream cheese and top it with the seasoned salt. All right, I'm going to mix this up. Now I know that you take yours and shake it.
Yes. And that, if I'm in season, I can actually take a full roaster pan, shake it, and no pieces will fall out of the pan. Much to the dog's
practiced. I have not.
I probably have the 10,000 hours required to be an expert at it, but I haven't cranked it out quite like I used to when I worked for American Girl, and this was the official snack of the customer service department during the holiday season.
Oh, you know what we haven't added? Honey roasted nuts.
Yes. And those are good to add last because as you mix them, they will fall to the bottom and they will stay there. So it's good to kind of sprinkle those over the top. And especially if I use mixed nuts that are
Yeah,
heavier
and
than those
these
nuts.
these are a mixed nut. It's
There you go.
peanuts,
Yeah,
cashews, almonds, hazelnuts. Here's a hazelnut, folks.
there we go. Also known as a filbert. Yes.
And
But
and
those
pecans.
are those are delicious, but again, just a little bit more sugar for the mix, and that's why we didn't add sugar to the butter mix because we've got it in with the crackers and those type of ingredients.
Now, what we're going to do is we're going to put the butter mix in here, mix it up, and stick it in the oven. Sean's recipe, which makes a whole bunch, takes about 2 hours. And every 15, 20 minutes, you go in and take a spoon and break it up so it doesn't burn. We'll probably cook
Yep.
this for 35, maybe 40 minutes. And let's see. Now, I don't have a whole bunch of liquid in my pot. I'll show
And that's
you.
okay.
And that's
You shouldn't
okay.
have too much.
All right.
Yep. What's important is you keep it stirred up so that you don't have separated butter that is not seasoned. Because otherwise, when you pour it, you'll have hot spots. So
Ah,
you'll want to stir it as you pour to try to keep it as blended as you can.
all right. Well, let's try it. And I should pour it all around.
Yes, I tend to pour it in like in the shape of an S or coils on the back of a refrigerator, just a little light drizzle like that. And I will shake it and then do it again and shake it and do it again or stir it in your case. Shaken, not stirred. But the point is to not do too
By the
much at
way,
one time.
I have to, another plug for Bouillon Max. There is a James Bond, is it
Yeah,
I
60 years
can't
of Bond.
remember, it was a round, a commemorative round.
Yeah, actually a coin. The queen's on the back. So,
Got it.
but it was 60 years of Bond, and there are a number of additional coins in that series. If someone's a Roger Moore fan, we've got him emblazoned on there. There are gold bars with 60 years of Bond. Great franchise. Kind of excited to see what happens next week.
All right, so I'm going to stir this up.
Yep,
And I guess the idea is to coat this as,
that's exactly it. You're trying to get it as evenly coated as you can. And so
this is noisy. This is the noisiest thing we've ever cooked.
it is it is plenty noisy. So normally I'm filling one of these.
Holy
And so what I
moly.
do is I shake it like this. It's a little bit of a roll with a little bit of a jerk, and you can see the cereal turn over. And so once I've done shaking it a few times, then I turn it around, shake it again, and then that will be nice and evenly coated. And then I'll do it a little bit more drizzle, and then shake it again. I figure I usually get 3 to 4 pours out of my measuring cup.
Look at me, I'm dancing.
Damn.
I'm thinking, you know what I'm thinking about? I'm thinking about
You're playing
Lucy.
the maracas. What's that?
I'm thinking of I Love Lucy, and she's flipping pancakes.
Oh,
and they
yes.
stick to the ceiling, and also Barbara Stanwyck did that in what was the name of the movie? We just saw it, Christmas in Connecticut. Christmas in Connecticut. She can't cook, and she's being taught to cook, and she flips a pancake and it sticks to the ceiling. And I have to tell you, already one check flipped out.
Gotcha.
Puff
Okay.
Rice
So,
Krispies, Snap, Crackle, and Pop. Oh, this puts it to shame.
sure.
Yes.
So now try one of those and see
I'm gonna
how
the
that tastes.
the nuts and the Cheerios kind of settle to the bottom.
Yep. Yep. And that's why the shake method works well, because you can force them back to the top. Stirring is a little difficult.
Well,
I go into detail on what exactly the shake is in my YouTube video if people want to go learn how to do that.
got it. And if you could, we've got your recipe. We'll post that too.
Hmm. I haven't done it yet, but I'm thinking my next experiment that would have nothing to do with the savory version would be to do a turtle flavor, so a caramel and chocolate Chex Mix.
Ooh,
Now,
count me in.
I probably wouldn't use the Gardettos because that's a very strong garlic. But
Yeah,
I could envision using all of the Chex flavors. I probably would not do the frosted Cheerios because that's a sugar bomb. Then really don't want
I
to do that.
and we put in corn Chex. There's rice Chex and wheat Chex, and I also discovered yesterday gluten-free Chex. That's
Past 2 seasons, I've used these Honey Nut Chex.
and honey nut
So
Chex.
again, a little more sweetness to go with that. Not quite aggressive, but very present heat.
Well, I know we're supposed to bake this, but I wanted to try this sauce. The
Hmm.
oh my, oh my, you hit on something, Sean.
Yep. It's really compelling because there isn't a pre-manufactured product. I think that's that bold. Usually, bold might mean okay, there's Worcestershire in it, but not really that extra little kick behind it. And your Chipotle powder, I bet, was just magical in there.
Ooh, I found. I told Carol just before we started, I'm hungry for dinner. And generally speaking, when we're done, we with our show,
Yeah, you eat the dinner.
we eat dinner. This is not dinner, folks.
No.
Sean, thank you for joining us here, and
Hmm.
we really appreciate it. Um, I've enjoyed. I wish you well. You may come out here sometime soon. So we've been working
Yes.
together for a year, and we haven't met. The magic of Zoom and the internet. I'm going to take
Yeah.
another swig of my beer.
Okay, I will too then. Label forward, of course, like the pitch man I am.
Yes, Sean has the same degree that I have in television, radio production. All right,
Communication
we have a
arts
couple
major. Yeah.
minutes. We
Radio,
have a
TV,
couple
film.
minutes. I'm going to put Sean on the spot. All right.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Can you do, he does voices. I do one voice. This is it, folks. So I'm
It do
going
what
to
it do, baby.
I'm going to impersonate Mark Allen. Sean, you did Sean Connery a while ago.
Absolutely. Yes. It's fantastic to be on the show today. You are cooking with gas, my friend. Absolutely.
And we may not be able to cook with gas much longer because the feds are saying that gas ranges may be harmful to our health. Who else can you do?
Well, I like to do Paul McCartney, because he's a Beatle and, everybody knows him. So, you can get away with a lot, because he could say just about anything, and you'd believe it because it's Paul, Plus, once you've got the little inflections, people tend to think you're good at it. And so, one of my favorite impersonations of McCartney was Dana Carvey when he had a show. and he was
Right.
talking as Paul in the early days, when we're on tour, and we just want to get out for a little bit, do some shopping, whatnot, and next thing you know, we got to cut through a drugstore, run through the back, get down the alleyway and then go down a few more stores and come out the front. And then, I saw John, he was fixated on something. It's like, John, what's that? I think he's like, it says it's Snickers. It's packed with peanuts.
I
And then
used to do
we
one.
had to run. Yeah.
What voice did I do, Carol? Do you remember?
The pirate.
Oh, the pirate from Peter Pan.
Captain Hook.
Oh, so
I
you
can't do
were
it.
Captain Hook?
Captain Hook. I used to do Captain Hook, but I haven't done it in 20 years since my kids grew up.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't. Yeah, I don't. I only do one.
Yeah,
Hey,
I was, of course, everybody was impersonating Johnny Depp, impersonating Keith Richards, for Pirates. Not all the rum, you burned it. Just crazy stuff. But I've also liked, when I was a kid, I did Nixon, and I think that's probably why I just kept doing these stupid voices, because people would laugh. And they might otherwise be having a tough day, but next thing you know, you got this little half pint with this platinum blonde hair going, people want to know whether or not their president's a crook.
you had
Well, I'm not a
platinum blonde hair.
Platinum blonde hair, yeah, in
Wow.
your usual bowl cut, because my mom cut my hair, and I would do I do Nixon, I do John Wayne. I was like a little rich little,
Wow.
if you will. And
One
it's
last thing that just occurred to me, if he's still there or she, you and your significant other raise cats.
Yes, we have a cattery in our home, and we raise flat-faced Persians. And it's funny right now as I look at Merlin over there. He's in a 60s styled egg chair, all curled up, but he could be any moment going, throw me a freaking bone here, people. Like Dr. Evil. But he's my office mate because he needs to be away from the queens, obviously, who will be coming into season very soon. We're headed to a cat show this weekend. It's our first one. We're really excited to drive down to Houston and find out what that's all about. We love them. We take care of them. We don't have cages or other silly things that really would not have the cat having a good time. So when the kittens go, they are well loved, they are well played with, they are adjusted, and they are living amazing lives. We've found such great pet parents. It's been a lot of fun. It's come with some heartache too.
Did you raise cats? Were you a cat lover before you got together?
Not really. I was always a dog guy, and my folks got a cat for Christmas. I want to say when I was a senior in high school, and I loved that cat. She was amazing, and then got reintroduced to cats through Terry. We had a rescue that one of her kids found in a trash bag with her litter. She was the only one who survived. She became my divorce cat. So while I was still working in Wisconsin and Terry was over in Michigan, she's the one who kept me company. And she was a great cat. She recently passed because she had an underdeveloped liver, which was probably from starting her life in a trash bag.
We have a shout out to John Duffin in Washington D.C. In Philadelphia. I can't keep track of all the of where people are.
Philadelphia, yeah. What about it? Philadelphia, yeah. I can't find my khakis. Can't find my khakis.
Italian sandwich for Sean and me. Sean, we're out of
time.
There we
go. Please do.
We got to go.
What
you do once you do all this, we're going to go back to cooking. Yeah. Show this one more time, Carol. And that is that you take this mixture, make sure it's all blended together with that seasoned salt, and you bake it at 225, I think. And if you do the
About
whole
250.
thing, 250?
Yeah, 250. But you do need to check on it to make sure it doesn't burn.
Yeah, exactly. And we'll do that. Listen, Sean, thank you. Come up with another recipe, and we'll do gold-plated vegetables or something.
Sounds great. We'll get some gold leaf and have a hell of a good time.
All right, hold on a second, okay? Hey, next week we're going to Mexico. We'll be about 3 hours outside of Mexico City. Well, I'll still be here in Southern California, but Mary Van Wheel will be joining us. She is a design expert. She's an excellent chef, and she's going to be joining us, and we don't know what she's making yet. But, well, what I'm making, but going to Mexico next week here on Mark Allen Cooks. And also next week, we'll have a 10-minute special. We're going to talk about cooking with propane because it's healthier than cooking with gas. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye for now. Have a great week, everybody. Excuse me, I'm going to eat some more.